All right. I'd like an apology, please. Just a small one. And also the other people that were calling the shit out, I would like apologies for them as well. Right? Because this is the problem, right? The NRS community, portions of them are dog shit. These are the people that won't call out the actual bad behaviors of like abusing your mother, right? What was that? Anyway, right? You know, having people make up slanderous lies and spread misinformation about other content creators, all because people didn't toe the line. That's the basic bottom line of it. If you didn't toe the line, you're a hater. You obviously don't care about the game. Apparently sucking it off every day and not saying a negative thing about it is what is expected of us as Mortal Kombat content creators. However, I don't suck no dick. Right? LOSTy Girl says here, after EVO, I won't be playing MK1 as much as I used to. There are too many things in the game that I really don't enjoy, and I thought it would get better after a year. It's time to focus on other games. It's really heartbreaking because this franchise meant the world to me. Didn't the only pros, people like Sloppy Seconds, and right, good old Tom, didn't these people always tell us, oh, these games always release broken, always release broken, and then in a year's time they're gonna be great. What sort of fucking gimp, right, has the mindset that the only way that we actually get the bought and paid for product in the capacity that we should have gotten it on launch day is that we have to wait for a year? Didn't these people say that? Oh, well, you know they're going to add stuff, you know they're going to patch stuff, you know they're going to fix it, it's going to be great in a year. Oh yeah. And she's saying the exact same shit. You want to know why? Because NRS are shit developers. Because NRS, right, don't know how to put out a great product. It doesn't happen with every fighting game. It doesn't happen with every game, actually. Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising launched as a banger. An absolute banger of a game. It is still probably my favorite fighting game in recent years. Just because of the amount of content in the game. The great gameplay, right? The amount of characters you have the ability to choose from. The stages, just all the little bits and pieces. All come together. Hell, you've even got like massive like detailed libraries in there of all the character like details about their character, the weapons, you know, enemies in the game or whatnot. Like, it is crazy. And this is just a fighting game. And we used to get this sort of stuff. Back in the day, at least we used to get a lot more of it in an MK game. Now an MK game is basically just nothing. Right? When I was streaming yesterday, you know, we used to get these things right here, character biographies, playing just in the attract mode of the game. We used to get that all the time, even when they finally made home console releases and we never got arcade games anymore. They were still doing it, right? I'd like an apology, please. For all the racist pieces of shit out there and all the fucking people that made up lies and misinformation about me and all these other people, because we called this shit out a long time ago. You shouldn't have to wait a year for the game to be good. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Imagine buying a car. It's like, well, we'll give you the fourth wheel in a year. You know you'll be able to drive it then, right? Just be grateful. That's the other shit I used to get from people. Well, you should just be thankful we got an MK game. Why should I be thankful? I can go back and play all the old MK games. I'm not restricted in not playing them. This mentality of we can only play the latest one, right? It's just ridiculous. Anyway, let's look at some of these replies. Right. This person says here, yeah, I dipped after Omni-Man I'll spin back for Takeda, but I don't know how long. I just know I spent $110 and only wanted the pack for him. So I'll definitely try it at least for 2 weeks. She says, what was your reason for stopping? Oh, gee, I don't know. I'm a 1v1 fighting game player. I don't like any tag assist mechanics, so once I saw them introduce cameos, I know I wouldn't be around long. Also, I got turned off by the gear. One customizable piece is crazy. She says, very understandable. I never played an assist game besides this, and it's really not for me. Too much headache focusing on their cameo while you have to focus on your own character, but cameo. No, this is not fun. I never knew customization could get worse than MK11, and here we are. Well, maybe if you, some of you fucking people out there were actually like, you know, critical of the game, you know. But this is what happens when people decided to cover their own interests and not speak out because they were worried about Warner Brothers cutting them off. Remember when I called out Condiment Twins for actually being paid by Warner Brothers? Right? And whether or not they were sitting on information that the rest of us could have known about. I understand NDAs, I've said this before, but you know, the liars out there always forget that part, right? And yet these very same people who know how bad Warner Brothers are would much rather attack others than actually say, listen, this is a bad company and we shouldn't be defending this at all. Because they want to keep their doors open. Why do you think some people in the community, oh, we need to do it the right way, we need to say this stuff in a better way? Why do you think they do that? They're not doing it because they're some great messiah and they know what's best. They're doing it to keep their options open. Because nobody wants to talk to the raging lunatic from Australia who might actually be right about things a lot. And I'm not right because of ego, I'm right because there's a pattern of behavior here, which I've mentioned many times before. NRS has a pattern of behavior here. Ed Boon has a pattern of behavior here. It's not hard. If some of you that weren't born yesterday would actually be able to see that, you'd understand where me and so many other people have been coming from, right? And the fact is that they have ruined Mortal Kombat with injustice mechanics, right? They literally let one game infect the other as soon as they started creating injustice, and that's when we started seeing the same sort of crap come over into Mortal Kombat, where we could jump off stuff and just ridiculous shit like that. You know, and Mortal Kombat was the worst for wear of it, which sucks, but it is what it is, right? Let's be honest, Liu Kang's new era was a mistake. The story was great, but Kameo system was a mistake. Yeah, I mean, like, the story's okay, it's serviceable, you know. Cameos have hurt it for me, which is funny because I was initially excited for the feature. After playing the game, I now think the feature doesn't really fit MK. Now we look at some of these cameos and wish they were playable characters. Same here, balancing the cameo and the base roster is just too hard. Listen, NRS can't balance shit even when it's a 1v1 game, right? This is what I've talked about simplifying the game all the way back to 2D mechanics, right? With the dial-in combos that we have, that you can only do when touching the other player, you have a run meter, and we don't have to worry about, you know, a whole bunch of balancing because you've actually simplified the game back to its roots, right? And then it's a lot more fun. I've got a video coming out. It was a James MK Fink comment he made about how the best and most balanced fighting game ever created was Karate. Is it called Karate? Right? Karateka, is it? I think it is. Let me just double check. Right? And the reason for that is because you've got you choose your character has everything you need, right? And the person you're fighting has the exact same stuff. So it's all about outwitting your opponent, right? The problem with balancing is that you end up with a game where, because you make all of these individual changes to a character to make them different from another character, you then have to figure out, okay, how do we balance that against every other character in the game? How do we make it so that this doesn't become overpowered or underpowered against everyone else, right? If you simplified it all back to the standard high punch, high kick, low kick, standard high kick, roundhouse kick, low kick, sweep, low punch, uppercut, right? Just standard stuff. Get rid of the air juggle combo shit that we have right now in MK1. Scale it all the way back to the basic martial art moves, your special moves, dialing combos that can only be activated on touch of an opponent. I think that would breed a lot more creativity because you still have a lot of options there available to you when playing the game, right? Because then you work around your restrictions. When you take all the restrictions away, like they did in MK1, you end up with a car with no brakes. I've talked about this before. You have no defensive options. Of course, the dipshit only pros going, well, let's no. Of course, they fucking know. These dickheads sit in their streams for hours in the lab and practice shit. The average person doesn't do that, and they shouldn't do that. They're not trying to go to a tournament. They're playing a fucking video game, you fucking clowns. Who gives a shit about your fucking ego and your jangly medals and shit like that? No one gives a fuck, and nobody's sucking your dick unless they're like, you know, sketch. Anyway, it really is a shame how they ended MK11. I would have thought that they would do something bigger with more game modes and features. Besides that, well, it feels like a mobile game. I still can't get around that certain features weren't available that should have been here at release. It's time to move on. Yeah, and for the year, the time still unfinished after a year. Okay, whatever. Right. I got so bent out in the game I can't even play it anymore. It didn't happen with MK11 until I hit year 2 and 3. Same here. I really thought that while playing, if I'm really enjoying it as much as the other MK games, but these days it showed I'm kind of done with it for a while. I haven't done any MK pictures for a while, so I know how you feel. Yeah, apologies, please. Right. For every single fuckknuckle out there, right, that decided to paint me and so many other people out there as haters, and we could see this down the road. Maybe it's because I'm older than all of you people. Maybe because I've seen a pattern here. Maybe because I don't have my head so far up my ass and see every time there's a dragon symbol on the side of something that it must be God's gift. Or I should be grateful. Get fucked. Giving up is for losers? Yeah, it's a video game, bro. No one gives a fuck. And again, call sketch if you need your dick sucked, right? Hopefully when the new update comes, the game state gets better. Let's hope so, but I doubt it. It's important to focus on your happiness and wish the very best, but I hope you stay in touch with the game. You are a really big part of the community. I'll always be in the community. Yeah. This is the person that wanted people reported, by the way. Right? Instead of using the actual things in the game, like mute and block and stuff, nah, she wanted people to report it. You know, I don't know if she was part of the group that also wanted people to be fucking, like, you know, reported and whatnot for talking about leaks in the game and stuff like that. Burnout is real and everything. It's not fucking burnout. People got burnt out within a couple of weeks. Yes, especially when the latest patches were disrespectful for the NRS fans. What the fuck does this talk? What are you talking about? Latest patches. Bro, the game is a disrespectful piece of shit to the customer. Who gives a fuck about a patch? Oh, this patch because it nerfs this. Just fucking shut up. You know what? It's so sad that grown people sit there and cry about a nerf. I'm sorry, we didn't have that shit back in the day. You people would never have fucking functioned playing video games back in the day when we didn't have the internet to connect and download a patch to fix some broken shit in the game. We just had to deal with it. Now granted, I'm glad that we can patch this stuff in this day and age. Sure. But you can really tell the people that are really spoiled. You know, that just expect the game to be curated to them. They don't care about the entirety of the MK fan base or the franchise. They only care about what they specifically can get out of it. And as I've stated many times before, I have watched Ed Boon destroy this franchise under his sole watch for the last 22 odd years, ever since Tobias left. And he got his sticky hands on it solely, and we got Deadly Alliance. And it has been going down ever since, except for MK9. Right? This is the problem, when you fuckers don't speak out. because you want to keep the door open. You want to keep your options open. You want to make sure you don't piss off the overlords at Warner Brothers. You want to make sure you dogpile on everyone else as being a negative person and a hater or whatever fuck shit you call stuff. No, you just decided to stick your head in the sand and just keep promoting and ignoring and stuff like that. And now, because it's allowed, just like how people didn't call out all the shitty behaviors and stuff with people until they decided it was profitable, right? They didn't care about it then. They only cared about when it was profitable and everyone else was dogpiling, right? There's so many frauds and charlatans and bullshit artists in this community. I tell you what, man. And then, guess what? Then they label you the same thing. Oh, well, you're this, you're that. Get fucked. I love Mortal Kombat. I want Mortal Kombat to be great again. I don't want Mortal Kombat to be great to pad my fucking wallet. There's always MK11, 9, and X, not to mention other fighters out there too. Yeah, I know, I'm always having way more fun with other games. MK1 can be fun if not taken seriously. It has too many dumb things. Well, the only game mode left to do is to get online and play the game. And that's when you find that it's not fun to play. Because people use the same copy and paste shit, a very tiny amount of characters that they use, because all they care about is having a better win to loss ratio. That's all they care about. Right? Not to mention with Combat League and having rewards, it makes it even worse. What if Jade was added to the game in the next combat pack? If they delete Chameleon Assist, I would play it 24/7. See, exactly, there we go. Fucking fake. Right? That's it. It's Chameleon. Right? So she'd play it 24/7 as long as they got rid of one cameo. Maybe it'll get better eventually. Look at this fucking coat. Again, we paid for it in September, or, you know, earlier than that for some of us that pre-ordered. Why the fuck should we have to wait so long to get a product worthy of the money that we paid for it? Yeah, my hopes are not really up for that. Been almost a year since the game is out, and so many dumb things still happening. MK10 would beat. Nothing can beat that. Fucking god, it's these people. I'm sorry, like, you know, anyone that sits there and tells me that MK10 was like peak, what was so great about it, right? They shoved in more guest characters, right? While the game has a fairly dark tone to it to a degree, right? That's when we started to see some of the censorship come in. But I bet these people didn't care about it. The uglifying of the women, the covering up of the women. Right? Because these people don't care. Because they are on the side of all the lefty weirdos out there. They're the ones that want censorship. They're the one that wants to report people. They're the one that wants to put people on lists. They're the ones that want to fucking, you know, complain about others who want sexy women in fucking video games. Isn't Ashra like one of her favorite characters? I bet if that bitch rolled out as like a giant fucking donut, right? Ashra looking like a giant donut. Would she say something? What's it gonna take for people to get off the bench? And only now, because everyone else has decided to talk about, oh, we're disappointed. Only now. You shouldn't have to give a game a whole fucking, almost a whole year to go, oh, well, you know, let's hope. The NRS era of MK fans, no offense to those that have, like, jumped in then, right? But, you know, it's the mentality. There's a certain mentality here, right? They are literally the leftists of the Mortal Kombat community, right? Self-centered, egotistical, think that their fucking shit don't stink, that they are the arbiters of the only things that can be said, done, and whatnot in regards to this fucking game as far as the community goes. And if anyone steps out of line or doesn't toe the line, well, you're just this and you're just that. Right? Really? It's just a club, boys and girls, and we're not in it. I'm curious, what exactly is wrong with the game? NRS peaked with MK10. You people are fucking delusional. Delusional. Like, I'm sorry, MK10 is a fucking huge cope. Right? I can understand, because if you started off with the NRS era, in terms of like post-Injustice, and MK10 was your first Mortal Kombat game, that's your metric, right? And I'd have to check, because I think by that stage, was MK9 delisted before or after MK10? Because if it was delisted before MK10, then it makes a lot of sense why a lot of people go to MK10 as like, oh, this is peak Mortal Kombat. Nah, midway Mortal Kombat was peak. Right? LOSTy, Tekken 8 art, yeah, Tekken 8's fucking dying too. Right? Look at the fallout for that. I thought Tekken 8 was going to be an absolute banger, and it seemed to be for a while, and then they just lost a whole bunch of goodwill. As a casual, there is nothing enjoyable at MK1 outside the story for me. I knew the game was in trouble when I played the stress test, compared to MK11's stress test. History is not on NRS's side to right this ship. All of this saddens me as a 30-year fan of Mortal Kombat. Just go play the old games, bro. Just go play the old games. Easy as that. They have, I think, like, could be a bit of a hot take. I think they have hyper-focused so much on trying to get this, like, epic gameplay that they have completely forgotten what made Mortal Kombat great. Mortal Kombat was never supposed to be taken that seriously. As far as like a competitive game, yeah, you could do it competitively, but like compared to like the other fighting games out there, it was just the party game, just a fun game that you load up and have a good time with, right? Imagine thinking you're top shit because you got some dangly metal on a string, you know. I'm sorry, right? You know. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think. Catch you next time.